Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Now we have our week 17 upsets. And the first game I got is quite a big surprise. I got Pittsburgh at the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh is plus 10, and we know Big Ben's not playing, and we know they're resting tons of starters. And this might seem like I'm just trying to stir the pot here, but I truly believe the Browns will have tons of pressure this game. And I don't think you can rule that out. I don't think you can quantify that and say it's just because the Steelers are going with backups that the Browns will roll through. We saw the Browns crack last week. They cracked mentally even before the game started with breaking the COVID protocol. They were down to 2 receivers. And for me, it's not even an excuse losing the wide receivers. They did not play good against the New York Jets. And when you can't beat the Jets, that's a problem. I don't know if the Steelers' second stringers are better than the New York Jets. But one thing I know is the Steelers will come in more prepared and they have a better coach than the New York Jets. So I think that's going to be an issue. And we're seeing the Browns. I still think you can figure this team out. I think if you stop the run, if you stop Nick Chubb, I think you can force this team into bad situations. When you look at Baker Mayfield, he really plays good when he's on the play action and they got him rolling to the right. If you get him in 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 10s, and you just make sure you keep him in the pocket, I think this Pittsburgh defense has a big opportunity to make plays and create turnovers. We know the Steelers defense is really good at stopping the run. I don't think that will diminish. And we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how many starters play. But I think Pittsburgh comes in here, and this is definitely a competitive game. They definitely cover it. And I frankly wouldn't be surprised if we saw a meltdown on Sunday from the Cleveland Browns. I would not be shocked. Next game I'm looking at, we got the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. Jets are plus 3. We saw this start at like plus 5, plus 6. Now it's all the way down to plus 3, but I still think it's an upset. And the Jets, they should win this game. They're not in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes anymore. They're actually starting to play better, even though you couldn't play worse. They're starting to play better. And then you got a New England team. We're hearing they might start Jarrett Stidham this week. And Jarrett Stidham is absolute garbage. You can look at the preseason film. You can look at when he came in for Tom Brady a little bit last year. You can look at his appearances this year. He offers little to nothing at the quarterback position. And listen, this is convenient. People will say they'll get a boost without Cam Newton. I'm not so sure about that because even back last year, we were saying there's no weapons on this offense. They don't run the ball good. And when Edelman's the best receiver on your team, you're going to have problems. They don't even have an average wide receiver to complement him with. And have you seen their tight end position? And this Jets defense, they've low-key been pretty decent the whole year. I'm not saying they've been great. I'm not saying they're a top 10 unit by any means, but the Jets defense actually wasn't that bad throughout the year. That's where I think the Jets win it. I think their defense plays good. I think this New England defense, how motivated is this old, streaking New England Patriots defense going to be? And you guys have been disagreeing with me a lot. I've been picking against the Patriots since like week 13. And normally the only argument I get, they don't really have an argument for anything I say. They'll just be like, well, Bill Belichick's playing a rookie quarterback or Bill Belichick's to go. Well, that's all well and good, but this team is playing absolutely terrible now, and the Jets will pop that off. Jets win the game. Next game, we got the Washington No-Names at the Philadelphia Eagles. Phillies plus 2. And this isn't the biggest upset in the world, but if Alex Smith starts, just rip this up. Throw the paper in the garbage and just stay the hell away from this game. But I don't think Alex Smith will play. I feel like Washington, they've been dragging us along about this leg injury for the last 3 weeks. And when I saw Alex Smith not play last week, I knew it was worse than they were saying. I don't know if this is a week-to-week thing like the organization is telling us. And it's the same leg. He almost got amputated. So that's a concern. And then you see them cut Dwayne Haskins, but that doesn't change anything. That does not change anything because Dwayne Haskins is terrible, but it doesn't mean the other guy isn't going to be just as terrible. And you got an Eagles team. Yes, Eagles looked like garbage last week, and that was one of the worst performances they've put on in the last 3 years, which is saying an awful lot for an Eagles team that continuously disappoints. But when you look at this Eagles team, I like Jalen Hurts. I trust Jalen Hurts more than who's going to start at quarterback for Washington because Alex Smith is probably not going to play. The thing that Jalen Hurts has added to this offense, they just run the ball more. And that's what I've been asking for the Eagles the whole year. They can't pass block. The receivers don't create all that much separation. And with Jalen Hurts, they're forced to run the ball. And I actually like his moxie, especially in that Arizona game, the way he battled and the way he was able to create big plays. Jalen Hurts still has a lot of work to do. But I think that's where the Eagles have an advantage this game. And ever since Jalen Hurts has been in there, we've seen Miles Sanders start going off. I think Philly runs the ball better. And also, I like this Philly defense. There is a question of motivation this game with Philadelphia, but I think the defense comes out and plays pretty good football because to really beat the hell out of this Eagles defense, you have to throw it. You should throw it 35 to 45 times against this defense because they can't cover anyone. Washington's going to do that. Washington wouldn't even do that if they had Alex Smith. Like I said, if Alex Smith starts, stay the hell away from this game. But if he doesn't, which it's looking like he won't, Philadelphia Eagles. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. Giants are +3, and I'm digging a trench here. I'm just going to throw out this right now. Maybe I'm just digging this trench about the Giants because I've been wrong a few weeks about them. But I think the Giants win this game. And I know we've been hearing a lot about Andy Dalton. They're saying the Cowboys offense has got going. I still like this Giants defense. When you look at the fundamentals of this game, I think this Giants defense can contain this Dallas offense. I am getting a little bit worried about some of the performance I'm seeing out of the Giants, though. They look sloppy. They're committing a lot of penalties. They're losing the turnover battle. And a lot of it starts with Daniel Jones. But one thing people are forgetting is that Daniel Jones is getting some home cooking this week. If you're going through just a bad cold streak, it is always good to see that Dallas Cowboys defense, particularly their secondary. When you see them coming to town, you know you can get some things going. And here's where the Giants win this game. Here's how you can tear up Dallas's defense. They play a lot of man, and their linebackers can't cover. You can dump it off, check it down. That'll get Daniel Jones in rhythm, and I think he'll do just enough to win this. I like the Giants +3. It's a good upset to pursue. Next game, this is maybe the biggest upset of the week, and I know it's going to ruffle some feathers. We got the Carolina Panthers +7 at the New Orleans Saints. I think Carolina can pull this because the Saints are running out of objectives this year. And for me, the Saints need to make sure they're ready to hit the ground running in the playoffs. How much do you risk Drew Brees this game? How much do you risk Kamara this game? And one factor that people forget about this New Orleans Saints team is this defense is good. They play with high energy, but it's rather old. I mean, the best player is Cam Jordan, and he's been in this league 10 plus years. That takes wear and tear on your body, and you just wonder how much acceleration are the Saints going to have against the Panthers? And frankly, what does this really prove? Maybe the Saints will get a better seed if they win and some things happen, but I don't necessarily buy into that. The Saints need to worry about being healthy for the playoffs. Because this team's, they've already made the playoffs tons of times. I felt like their Super Bowl window was over, but now they get another chance. And you've got a Panthers team that, I don't know if there's a team that plays tougher in this league. I would like someone to find me the team that plays tougher in this league. And we're all forgetting about Matt Rule. I hear people giving Teddy Bridgewater credit, which is crazy, and that's how I can tell you actually don't watch these games. But the story of the Carolina Panthers this year is Matt Rule and a young defense. This defense has tons of no-names, But at a certain point, it doesn't matter because they bring energy, they bring physicality, and they're going to fight to the death. And Carolina always seems to hang around in games. They always seem to cover spreads. And that's just what they do. Now, some of those were covered in garbage time, but a lot of those games were hard, fought games that they ended up losing. They get the ball. They get the ball with a chance to tie it or score a touchdown, and then you know what happens because you have Teddy Bridgewater. But that's still covering spreads, and that's still keeping it close. And you feel like this Carolina team has lost so many close games this year, they're due to get one. And everyone's excited about the Saints because they tore up my Minnesota Vikings. Listen, I'm not trying to be negative, and I'm not trying to take away a good performance from the Saints, but how much resistance was there that game? How much resistance did the Minnesota Vikings defense have? And if we're going to take that game really seriously, like some of you guys are doing, why was the Vikings offense moving it so easy against the supposed great Saints defense? The Saints have some holes. Every single good team in the NFC has some holes. I think the Panthers will exploit some of those. I think the Panthers will have a good offensive game plan. I think they'll get the ball out of Teddy's hand. And here's the thing we need to watch. I've been liking this Carolina Panthers run game the whole year. They haven't had Christian McCaffrey. They don't have a lot of big name linemen, but they get a positive push. And that's one thing you need to do against the Saints because you can't throw it against them 40 times or their pass rush will absolutely destroy and pulverize you. Listen, I'm not going as crazy to say I think the Panthers win. It's going to be a one-possession game. I think the Panthers have a great shot to win. This +7 is very appealing to me. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share my videos. Check out my Patreon channel. Link is in description. I post every bet I make there. It's only $5 a month. Thank you. Happy New Year.